About 8 years ago, when I decided to quit using drugs, I flew down to South Florida and started my long search for different jobs. My first job was at a call center selling light bulbs across state lines, cheap light bulbs. And my second job was at a diner called King's Diner that closed after 2 months, and I never got a paycheck. I called and asked for the paycheck, but it never came. And my third job was at Panera Bread, where my tyrannical boss would sort of like watch over us and make sure that the lunch meats were all spread in the right way. And it was actually it was a good job, but I was wanting to find something better. There was this main Ave that was like this nice Ave with all these nice restaurants. So I would walk down this Ave and look for jobs. Basically, I would put my resume out there, try to make good impressions. One day, I found a job at this place called Farm to Fork. They source everything locally. I was into it. I was like, oh yeah, this place, this sounds like it's going to be good. So I meet the owner. I get an audition on the spot. You know, it's that same day I get this audition. And so basically, an audition in the French restaurant cuisine tradition means that you go and you make a recipe, and if the recipe is up to par, then you get offered the job. So my recipe was French onion dip. I never made French onion dip before. I realized I had never caramelized onions before. It takes 45 minutes to really caramelize onions. So I'm sitting, I'm caramelizing the onions, making the mayonnaise from scratch, got the whole recipe together. It takes about an hour and a half. So I've got the French onion dip. I bring it back to the office, to the head chef. He's sitting there, this pretty intense-looking man, works long hours. He has these papers around him. I don't know what they're for. And so I'm like, here's the dip. I bring it over. I'm waiting. He puts his pinky in it, and he says, yeah, that's some damn good French onion dip. So I'm like, yeah, I did it. I made the dip. So I start the next day. I'm gonna be a prep cook at Farm to Fork. So next morning, and this has kind of been my MO with many things in life, that when one big life change is taking place, I pile them on. I just say, let's put some other changes in here. I am a coffee drinker, a lifetime coffee drinker. Oh, not lifetime. I started when I was 17 or 18. But I was very well addicted to coffee at this time, coming off of drugs and throwing myself into the coffee and cigarettes too. I was a cigarette smoker. So I figure I've got this new job, same day, I'm going to quit smoking and I'm going to quit coffee. That's my goal. 8 a.m. the next morning, wake up in the halfway house, I'm on my way to Farm to Fork. I'm feeling like horrible, yeah. Things are already not going so well. So I'm walking to work, I live right down the street. I get there, set up with the chef's knife. I'm delirious at this point. Like it's already, I'm already sort of like feeling the vibe of this place, and that I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where I am. There's a coffee pot on the side, and it's making all these smells around me. I get my chef's knife and I'm set up with a winter squash, and after a half hour or so, I cut my finger. Bad cut, deep cut. The chef's knives are super sharp. They sharpen them a lot sharper at restaurants than I was used to. And I'm not used to cutting these winter squashes either. So I get a pretty deep cut. I'm like, oh gosh, now I've got this Band-Aid I got to deal with all day. The day goes on, people go out for their smoke breaks and drink their coffee, and I'm just getting more and more delirious. I'm like, oh, the coffee would help, the cigarette cravings. And I'm like, oh, the cigarettes would help the coffee cravings. And none of it's there for me, and the day's like moving on. And so the afternoon hits, and I forget what recipe I was making. I was bringing it into the walk-in to put it away. I don't know what's going on. It's like the humming of the walk-in. It's going in the background. There's fluorescent lights over me. And something happens, and I knock over the evening scalloped potatoes. They fall all over the floor. And I'm like, well, okay, I panic. Someone's going to walk in any minute. People are always walking into the walk-in. So I scoop them all up and put them back on the tray, and just put them back on the thing, and I get the hell out of there. My day is almost over. It's almost 4 o'clock. If I can get through this, who knows what tomorrow will bring. So I go back to my post. I forget what I was doing, what kind of difficult vegetable I had to deal with. And I'm sitting there, and sure enough, a couple minutes later, the head chef goes into the walk-in, and he notices immediately. And these thick freezer doors, I hear, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, I already know what's happening. I know damn well what's going on. And it's the scalloped potatoes. He comes out and he's looking everywhere. He's like, who did it? Who's responsible? And at this point, I'm delirious. I'm like, oh gosh, I don't even know what happened. What I've done today. And I turn around and I say, it was me. I was the one. I knocked over the scalloped potatoes. I figure, if I own up to it, maybe that'll show him at least I'm honest. And he says, "Get the hell out of my restaurant." And I go home. I lose my job, and I go back to Panera Bread, where I met my first and one of my best friends, who's a friend to this day. We stay in touch, and found some other jobs along the way.